Hello. I wanted to do a video just for awareness on like the stages of grief and what happens when we go through grief and the different stages that it could possibly look like. My name's Melinda. I'm a registered nurse, life coach, and mentor, and I love helping us kind of guide our way through some of this pain that we may be dealing with. Okay, and so on our channel, we focus on faith, healing, and emotional wellness. So let's get into it because have you ever noticed that like grief doesn't feel the same every day? So if you're grieving something right now, it could be like the death of a loved one, the death of like a relationship that you thought was, or any category of grief that you're dealing with. Grief can be, a plethora of things. So, but let's talk about like grief because it doesn't feel the same every day. It doesn't always feel the same. Like one day you might feel okay. The next day, then it hurts and the pain is there, excruciating pain is there all over again. And then what could happen is you could find yourself like wondering, like, why does this keep changing? Why does this keep changing? Why can't I just be, steady with this? And so the thing is that what you're feeling is more common than you think, okay? Because like psychology shows that like grief doesn't just happen like in a straight line. It's just not like that. It often moves through different emotional levels and experiences too, and it's sometimes called like the stages of grief, where you go through different stages and stuff like that. And for those who want to research or learn more, like they were originally described by Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, and so it she helped to explain like how people process loss. Okay, and so these are not just steps that like you may necessarily just move through just perfectly. Okay, again, it doesn't come in like a straight line, and like I said, they are more like waves. If you watch some of my other videos on grief, one of them I talked about the waves, or a couple of them, like it's like you're in the ocean, and then it's like when a wave comes, and then next thing you know the water kind of settles down. That's kind of how grief comes, like in waves, and sometimes it comes like one after another, and then sometimes they come back again like in waves, and not just one grief episode. Sometimes it could come back in multiple waves. Okay, and I explained it in my other video, like we can't control the waves because they're just gonna happen, right? So like you're on a bumpy, think you're on a cruise and a bumpy water and you're in the waves. You're The wave comes and then it settles down, then another one comes and then it settles down. But with these grief that's coming in layers and in multiple times, next thing you know it's a wave and then another wave and then another wave over here, and then it could be a wave and then a wave and then it's trying to calm down and then another wave. So you see it could happen like gradually back and forth like that. But the thing is that we can learn to kind of move through them. And so let's talk about like some of the stages of grief, okay? The first experience that somebody may have or that you may have is denial. It's not to say that it's a definite that people are denying that that is happening, but these are the stages of grief, okay, that are explained. So the first one is denial. And so that one can feel like when you say like this just doesn't feel real. Like it happened, they're gone, whatever the case may be, but it just doesn't seem real. Like it's unbelievable. Like it just does not feel real. Or like this is not true. They're not gone. They're not gone. Okay? This cannot be happening. And so what happens is that's your mind like trying to protect you from taking on too much at once. Okay? And so then there could be anger, where it's like you could get angry or frustrated. You could start having questions. Like the anger could be like, oh my God, why did they leave me? Like we were supposed to do this together and I'm so mad about this and why are they gone? And you can just start projecting, just feeling it. And then you could feel yourself getting angry or frustrated or so disappointed that they're gone. And then you could even start feeling like just so upset. And that's where you have the crying spells over and over and over because it's so devastating. And then sometimes too, the thing is that the anger is not just about one thing, because it's not, it's mixed in. You have all this grief and that's a sorrowful and that's angry, that makes you angry within itself that happened. But then you can have anger that's not just one thing. It's not just this. You're angry about something else, with the whole scenario of everything. Like, I was left to do this by myself. We were supposed to do this together, or we were supposed to build this family, or we had dreams and hopes. And so it's just so you're so upset that it makes you angry about multiple things at once. And then it's like, it's not just about the one thing, it's just about the weight of all of it that's on you. Like, all this weight is now on you because you're dealing with all this stuff. And then there could be the stage called bargaining. So with the bargaining and grief, that could be like, you could have thoughts. That's like where you're bargaining, like, please let them make it through. Like, why are they, if you let this happen, I'll do this, or you know what I mean. It could be like, then you start telling yourself, like, you could be telling yourself, like, what if I had did this differently, would they still be here? If I would have just picked up that phone call, if I just would have been 5 minutes sooner, or if the doctors would have just did this one last procedure, this could have happened. Or you know what I mean, it could just be different things in different stages of bargaining. Or just thinking, if just something just would have went a different way, like this, I wouldn't be here, they would still be here. Or let's say it's the grief of a relationship. If I wouldn't have did this last thing, maybe we would still be together. Or if they wouldn't have did this and went there and met this person, then now, they ruined everything. Or you know what I'm saying? You could just go on and on and on, and that's the bargaining. And what that is that your mind is trying to literally make sense of what happened. And so then the next stage is the sadness, okay? Sadness, or what some people recognize as like a depression. It could throw you into literally a depression because you're so sad and so down about like what happened in the grief, that you're just so saddened by it that it could throw you like to where you start feeling like down, just so sad. And then that's right there in that stage of it is where the weight is really felt, because you're so sad and you're so down. That's when you start really feeling that weight. And it can really be felt. And then finally, there can be acceptance. The other step is acceptance, because then it's like, I'm still hurt. I'm still saddened by it. It still makes me down, at times. But I know this is what it is right now. I have to accept the reality of what it is. But it does hurt me and make me so sad. But I still, it doesn't feel good. But I know this is where it is, and I have to accept it because I can't change anything. And that's when things begin to feel like real. And just understand too that you may not experience all these in that same order. It doesn't necessarily mean it'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like, it doesn't mean you'll go exactly in order. It could be in different orders. You could have sadness, you could have, acceptance, you could have, anger, you could have, all of the different phases could just kind of, be in different phases per se. And so you might just kind of move through different ones at different times with your grief. So, or you may just go back into the beginning stage denying like this is not happening. And then next thing you know, because grief is like, because we talked about it not being linear, it's like how it could be explained is like, let's say you have a house, right? And you're in the house, you in all the different stages of grief or a room in the house, okay? It's like you're walking in the front room, and then next thing you know you could be in the bedroom, or next thing you know you could be in the second bedroom, next thing you know you could be in the bathroom. Those different stages, like you may switch between different stages, okay? And sometimes you may visit that same room again. Like you may go in the bedroom twice, you might go in the bathroom twice. Not literal bathrooms, but like if we are naming the different, like denial is the bathroom, like you know what I mean, things like that. Just trying to give you an analogy of how it could work possibly. And there's nothing wrong, just understand there's nothing wrong with how you're feeling and how you're trying to, get through and process your grief. But your mind and body are also trying to process it into something meaningful, trying to help you get that, meaningful processing of everything that's going on, whether it's a loss, a person, a relationship, or what have you. You're still going through different stages of grief at, different times. And so it still matters. It matters like that you're going through all this. And that's the thing, is trying to be able to kind of walk through it and heal. And awareness, being aware that, okay, oh, Melinda, okay, you explain these different stages. Now that makes sense, because I was feeling this and I was feeling that. And so now I'm aware of that. And so now once you understand what you're feeling, now you can start to give yourself some more grace and compassion and things like that with what you're going through. And so you also can start your healing journey, like once you kind of understand what happens, and it allows yourself to kind of move through them as well. But it'll be in your own time. It's not on somebody else's timeline. It's like once you start moving through them, it'll be on your own time. So I just want you to understand too, like if your grief feels different like every day, just remember that, like, it's not confusion or anything like that. It's part of the actual process. That's normal. And it's part of the process, and you're allowed to move through it, okay? So just understand that it is normal, and just kind of move through it like one step at a time, okay? And so just remember that, those are different stages of grief. And so you'll be kind of going through, different ones. And just if you want to, like, a recap, just remember that it's going to take time, okay? And so, you might have denial, which is the first one. Then you can turn around and have, anger. You can have depression or frustration, and, being down and things like that. And you could also have like where you're bargaining and things like that too. Then you can go into like acceptance. So those are different stages that, you might go in between like all those stages. You may have the sadness, like all of those things and all of those stages do kind of, come about when you're going through all this grief and pain and stuff like that. So I hope this message was helpful to help you understand like the different stages and where you may be at, and to understand that, to put reality, like as far as, oh, okay, now I understand what this is, and the different stages, and maybe your emotions. It kind of helps you can kind of say, okay, I'm in this stage right now, and that's what she was talking about, and so on and so forth. So if this message helped you at all, please give me a like and subscribe, if this is content that is helping you. And again, my name is Melinda. I'm a registered nurse, life coach, and mentor. And on our channel, we focus on faith, healing, and emotional wellness. Okay. And I keep trying to bring videos that, to help us heal, to help others heal. And so I hope you have a fabulous day. Keep your head up, and, kind of work through this at your own pace and things like that. And as always, I'm wishing you peace, love, joy, and happiness. All right. Have a great day or night, whichever time you're watching. Bye.